Good morning, Fresno Athletic fans, or good afternoon if you're tuning in on the East Coast. It's Jarrett Smith once again bringing you some Fresno Athletics action. We are at our final game of the week of what has been a very good week for the Athletics. Started off the week on Tuesday beating VSA to sweep that series to start the year, then moved on to California Halos, three-game sweep of them, and here we are on a Saturday morning at Chachansey Park looking to sweep the week against the very talented Menlo Park Legends. Very hot day today. It is already up to 83, 84 degrees and only 9 o'clock in the morning. Looks like it's going to be in the mid 90s by the time we're getting later into this ball game. So it is certainly going to be a hot one out there today and great potential for balls to be flying out of this ballpark. And let's take a look at that starting lineup for the Fresno A's today. Lead things off as usual. George Smith at the shortstop position. Batting second will be Luke Ree, the center fielder. Third, Ethan Wood at first base in the cleanup spot. Third baseman, Luke Navad. Batting fifth is Hayes Eatons. He will be the DH today instead of being behind the plate at catcher. He had himself a heck of a day yesterday, 5 RBI performance. Moving on, batting sixth is Mikey Ramirez out in left field. Batting eighth, Gabe Cazares at second base. And rounding things out, batting ninth will be the catcher for today, Luke Shaheen. And taking a look on the mound today, it is number 20, Cooper King out of University of Central Arkansas. I'm on the penalty, right? All right, folks, Shaheen throws it down. That means last pitch of warm-ups, and we are ready to go. Leading things off for the Legends today is going to be Shaddix. He is the right fielder for them. First pitch is a ball to him. Second pitch is a ball as well. That is 2-0. Burkeen gets back into the count, 2-1 now the count. And he misses way upstairs, look close to his helmet, but Shaddix was not bothered by that one. Let's go by 3-1. Swing and a miss from Shaddix there, and the count evens up 3-2. Full count now. And this one's put into play down the left field line. That is a base hit for Shaddix to lead things off here. So leadoff single for him, and up to the plate now comes Rabasso. Ball in the dirt, blocked by Shaheen. Shaddix remains at first. Second pitch is called ball. Looked to be a bit low, 2-0. King delivers. That ball is called a strike on the outside. 2-1 count now to the batter. King delivers. This one is chopped. Foul out of play, 2-2. CC pitch on the way. King comes. It's hammered up the middle in front of Luke Reed. That is a line drive. Base hits for Ravasso, and that is back-to-back singles to lead things off here for the Menlo Park Legends. So they got some action early on the base pass with some nice singles, and here comes the three-hitter, first baseman Anderson. So no outs here, runners on first and second. Excellent opportunity for the Legends to get some runs on the board early. Shaddix was thinking about heading to third there for a second, had a big secondary lead and was leaning towards third, but retreats back to second. So 1-0 the count to Anderson. King is set. Throws off speed that breaks down below the zone, 2-0. Pitch on the way. Nice heater that goes down in the zone. Anderson swings through it, swing and a miss, 2-1. King gets set. Doesn't. Oh, looks back to second. Coming towards the plate. 2-1 pitch is called. Strike low and outside. Count will even up 2-2. Two pitch on the way. It is upstairs. That is called ball three. Full count, 3-2. Definitely looked like a pretty close pitch on a two-strike count, but umpire calls it a ball, and here we are. Count full once more. Payoff pitch on the way to Anderson. It misses downstairs and potentially inside as well. So three batters for Menlo Park and three base runners. Bases are juiced, no outs. So tough situation for Cooper King to find himself in as he's trying to get started on a good note here in this ball game. But a fantastic opportunity for Menlo Park to cash in early. Stepping in as the cleanup hitter is Most. He is the DH today. Pitch misses down, 1-0 the count to Most. So far with these three at bats, there's been some high pitch counts in each at bat with 2 hits and a walk. So double play ball would certainly help out the Athletics here, even if it means scoring the first run of the ball game being scored by the Legends, as Most fouls this one back, 1-1. Pitch on the way is high. Most tried to check his swing and hold off, but it glances off his bat, excuse me, to the back screen, 1-2. King's pitch challenges some heat down. That is Called a foul ball. Shaheen fielded it, thinking it might have been a fair ball. It was a chopper right in front of the plate, but ruled a foul ball. So we'll do it again, 1 and 2. A little bit of encouragement from Anderson to Most. Most pops this one up into the infield to shortstop George Smith. Infield fly rule called anyways, so he is automatically out. And runners stay put. So first out of this inning recorded, and we move on to the third baseman, Bleeker. First pitch to Bleeker, taken strike, nice heat blowing inside. Curveball misses up. It gets away from Shaheen, and here comes the runner, Shaddix, to home. That one is going to be a passed ball charged to Shaheen. First runner comes in to score in the form of Shaddix, and it is an early 1-0 lead here for Menlo Park. Oh, right after a pass, right after a pass ball and the run scoring, bases get jammed up again as Cooper King hits Bleeker. He takes first base. So 1 out now. Bases are juiced once again, and this has been a tough start for Cooper King and the Athletics. Pitching coach Ethan for the Athletics coming out to have a conversation with King on the mound. Shaheen's also out there joining him. Conference on the mound is over. Shaheen jogging back. Coach Ethan going back to the dugout. Hoping that things are settled down here. A's will most certainly be looking for a double play ball to get out of this inning with only 1 run allowed. So we take a look stepping into the box. It is left fielder Curtis for the Menlo Park Legends, and potentially on deck and next due up would be Bose, the shortstop. First pitch to Curtis is fouled back 0-1. Second pitch is fastball that is down 1-1. One pitch is inside, fouled off the bat to the screen, 1-2. King's 1-2 on the way. It drills him in the helmet. Ouch, that has to hurt. Sure hope Curtis is okay on that one. But that will score Robasso from third. Anderson goes to third. Bleeker to second. And we're going to wait and see what might be happening here for the Athletics. So that's back-to-back hit by pitches for Cooper King, and got a sense that he's most certainly not comfortable on that mound right now. This one's hammered out to left field. Mikey Ramirez is under it, though. Long run to get that one in. And Anderson comes home to score. Bleeker is safe at third base. And Curtis remains at first. So that is another run in for Menlo Park. It is now 3-0. So finally, now to the eighth batter, and there are now 2 outs. Runners at the corners, first and third. That is Bleeker and Bose. First pitch here is a bloop shot into left field. That is going to be a base hit. That will cash in Bleeker. Rodriguez runs up on it, throws it into George Smith at second base. Curtis grabs third base on that RBI single. So the catcher Cowens cashes in there with the RBI single, and another run comes in to score. It is 4-0. First pitch in there to the 9-hitter Vi is in for a strike. Second pitch is a strike, low and inside corner. That does get called a strike. 0-2. So favorable count here for King to get out of this inning. We'll keep an eye on Cowens over there to see if he's on the run. This one is foul down the left field line. So count remains 0-2. Off speed, that misses outside, 1-2. Looked like Cowens was getting a little adventurous there with his secondary lead, but did not end up. Yeah, there he goes now. And this one's chopped up the middle to King. He's going to flip it over to Ethan Wood, and mercifully, this inning ends for the A's. But not after 4 runs by the Legends to start things off here. They're going to like that, and the A's have a lot of work to do here going into the bottom of the first. All right, now we are in the bottom of the first, and here comes the shortstop, George Smith, for the Athletics to lead things off. And he's had himself a great start to the season. Looking to continue things there with getting a leadoff runner here and clawing back for the A's. First pitch is downstairs, 1-0. The pitcher for the Menlo Park Legends is number 15, Trammell. And when I have a moment in between batters, I will give you the lineup in the field. George Smith fouls this one just below the catcher's legs, 1-1. Pitch on the way upstairs, 2-1. Foul tip in the glove. That is strike 2 to Smith. Taking a look at Smith's stats so far this season, he is batting .400 with a home run, 5 RBIs, and a 1171 OPS. As he takes that for a ball, it is full count now. Payoff pitch of this at bat on the way. It is downstairs, low, ball 4. George Smith has first base. So here comes Luke Reed, the center fielder, batting second. .217 average for him so far. 3 RBIs, 618 OPS. Takes a heater down the middle, strike 1. Keep an eye over at first base to see if George Smith will be on the move here. Second pitch, another heater, but this one misses downstairs as Ree shakes his head no, 1-1. Another heater downstairs, 2-1. Trammell checking on George Smith over at first base. He slides in there safely. Digging back on the mound, takes a peek over at Smith at first. Comes home with the pitch. Ree takes two-seamer in there. Strike 2, 2-2. Pitch on the way to Ree. He takes outside. Good discipline, good eye on that one. Certainly looked close. And 2 batters, 2 full counts here to start out. Trammell likes the pitch, says yes, gets in a stretch. Coming home, 3-2. Challenges Reed down the middle. This is up to the shortstop. Flips over to flips over to the second baseman. That's out number 1. Out number 2 is at first base. Double play for the Legends. So quickly, some early potential for the A's is wiped out on that 6-4-3 double play. 2 outs in this inning, and here comes Ethan Wood. Wood is another A that has had a great start to the season thus far. 364 average, 12 RBIs, and .1019 OPS. He fouls this one back. He's quickly down 0-2. Wood rips this one down the first base line, but it is in foul territory. Count remains 0-2. Pitch on the way to Wood, bounces in the dirt near his feet. Wonder how close that was to hitting him and being first base, but it is a ball 1-2. Tremble's pitch on the way. It is upstairs 2-2 now to count. Wood rips this one down the first base, but he has it covered. Tells the pitcher, "No, don't bother coming over. I got it." He does got it, and this is the end of the inning. So 3 batters up, 3 batters down for the Athletics after giving up 4 runs in the top of the first. Cooper King is coming back out to the mound, so we'll see if he can settle things down and have a better outing here. We'll be right back with the top of the second. All right, we're back with the top of the second inning. This is a ground ball to Luke Navad, who throws over to Ethan Wood, has the first batter of this inning out. So that is Shattuck's retired for this one with a ground ball to the third baseman. I do believe the last name for this guy is Robago. The lineup card I got from the coach sure looked like Robasso, but I'm hearing from upstairs Robago, so we will roll with that. Anyways, first pitch to him was a ball. Second pitch to him is a ball. It is 2-0 to him. Fargo lays off that one, and he is in a favorable count, 3-0. Does he have the green light? Well, not a pitch he would have wanted to swung at anyways. Painted the corner low and outside. Nice pitch by King, 3-1. 3-1 pitch fouled back behind the third base dugout. And King has clawed back into this one, 3-2. Payoff pitch on the way. This one is hit out towards left field. It is going to drop in for a single in front of Mikey Ramirez. Throw coming into Cazares is over his head. It goes into short right field. Oh, runner decided to not go to second base there. Looked like he might have had it, but that was a lot of action there. But Ravago settles in for a single. That'll be his second single of this contest. So here comes first baseman Anderson. He walked last inning. King's first pitch, well located, 0-1. King checks over on the runner at first. He's in there safely. Pitch is called the ball, 1-1. Long pause on the mound, 1-1 pitch. Looked like might have been a changeup upstairs, and Anderson whiffs on that one, 1-2. Well, Anderson digs back in, 1-2 count. King's fire on the way. He swings and misses. Anderson is down. And that is the first strikeout for King of this outing. And that is 2 outs now. The DH cleanup hitter, Most is up. Last time he was up, it was a pop out to George Smith at short, but it was ruled infield fly since bases were juiced at the time. First pitch to him is called ball, 1-0. Second pitch, fastball in there, called strike, 1-1. King tries the curveball, starts out too high, doesn't break down into the zone, 2-1. King checks over on the runner. It is thrown over Ethan Wood's head. Here comes the runner to second. He's thinking about third. He is going to third. Ethan Wood seemed to bobble the ball there or something like that, but that is 2 bags for Rabago after an unforced error, really. Cooper King checking on the runner over at first, overthrown, and then Ethan Wood unable to gather it up there in foul territory. So Rabago stands 90 feet away from being the 5th run of this outing, or this game, excuse me, for Menlo Park here. 2-1 pitch challenges him high with the heat. It is called, well, not called strike, swinging strike, 2-2. Called strike 3. Most gets rung up. Crooked K, and Cooper King is out of that inning with no harm done. Very interesting inning of action there. Rabago gets over to third base, but is unable to score, and Cooper King's got to be relieved with that. He faced the whole lineup in the first inning, cut that down to 4 this inning, so the A's will be coming up in the bottom of the second, still with work to do, down 4. All right, folks, we're back with the bottom of the second inning. New pitching change to report, which certainly surprised me. It is a left-hander, number 17, Villanueva for Menlo Park Legends. So I am certainly curious to see if they're going to be using a bullpen game today or a couple openers and then have a quote-unquote starter go strong innings later in this one. Villanueva's first pitch is up and out, 1-0. First batter for the Athletics in this inning is Luke Navad, the third baseman. So it's going to be 4, 5, 6 coming up. Luke Navad, Hayes, Edens, and Mikey Ramirez. 1-0 pitch again is a heater that is upstairs, 2-0. 2-0 misses upstairs once again. It is now 3-0. 3-0 misses high and outside, ball 4. That is a 4-pitch walk for Nevada to start out this inning. A's will certainly take it with the deficit they find themselves in. Pretty much all of Villanueva's pitches that missed in the same exact spot, so doesn't quite look like he's finishing his stretch down the mound to get that ball down in the zone. Pitch once again misses upstairs. 1-0 is the count to the new batter, Hayes Edens, as mentioned yesterday. Great day for him. He's had 2 starts. This is now his third, but 2 starts at catcher, 2 for 5 each of those starts. And yesterday, monster 5 RBI performance. Two-seamer misses outside. It slips past the catcher, goes back to the backstop. Luke Navad has second base easily. So Villanueva may have missed his location there, and the catcher got crossed up, but that'll certainly be a passed ball as it bounced off the catcher's glove. And here comes a coach to have a conference and the catcher a conference with the new pitcher, Villanueva. So far, he's thrown 6 pitches, and all of them have been balls. Umpire coming out to the mound to break things up, but catcher doesn't give him coach doesn't give him the chance. Pats Villanueva on the back, heading back to the dugout, and infielders are resetting. All right, umpire's back behind the dish. Hayes Eden stepping into the batter's box, and we are ready to resume action. Villanueva taking a quick peek at Nevada, another one. Coming home to Hayes Edens, that is fouled off. Looked to be a much more competitive pitch there from Villanueva. 2-1 is now the count. 2-1 on the way, spiked low this time. 3-1. 3-1 pitch from Villanueva on the way. Edens chops it in the middle infielder. Shortstop charging on it, makes a throw over to first. Nice play from him, and that is an out, but a productive out for the A's as Nevada moves over to third base. So here comes Mikey Ramirez, the left fielder for the Athletics. 90 feet away from being the A's first run of the game. First pitch to Mikey on the way. He chases down low, 0-1. Mikey having himself a good start to the year, too. 421 batting average with 5 RBIs and 1015 OPS. Pitch misses upstairs to him, 1-1. On one pitch is taken out towards right field. Right fielder's under it. He is going to crow hop, throw it home. This play is going to be close at the plate. Nevada slides in there. He is safe as the ball skips past the catcher. So good piece of hitting there by Mikey Ramirez to get the sacrifice fly out to right field. Nevada comes in to score. That's the first run of this ball game for the Athletics. 4-1 now the score. It's 2 down now in the inning. Villanueva gets the ball. Julian Rodriguez, the right fielder, is up to bat for the Athletics. Rodriguez batting 238 with 3 RBIs and a 667 OPS. Second pitch of this at bat is taken upstairs. It is 2-0 to Rodriguez. Pitch on the way. Rodriguez hammers it down the left field line. I do believe this is hooking foul. It is. Left fielder definitely tried to make a play on it, but That one was moving and quick. So Rodriguez getting back in the batter's box after a long foul ball. 2-1 will be the count when he digs back in. Gabe Cazares is the batter in the on deck circle for the A's as 2-1 comes home. Rodriguez, bit of a half swing there, misses 2-2. Two-two pitch on the way, taken high and outside. Full count to Rodriguez. Off speed, looked to be a slider, doesn't break back down in the zone. Rodriguez takes ball four. That is a walk. So A's get another base runner on base now, looking to extend this inning with a bit of a 2-out rally. So second baseman Gabe Cazares stepping in. First at bat of the day. First pitch he sees is a called ball, back pick towards first base. Rodriguez is back in there safely. And Villanueva's not satisfied. He goes over to first base again to check on Rodriguez. And I don't blame him because Rodriguez can certainly fly around those base paths. Looking at Gabe Cazares, he is batting 263, 3 RBIs, and a 664 OPS. Villanueva comes home to Cazares this time. It's fouled back against the screen, 1-1. 1-1 pitch on the way. It's a slider that breaks into the strike zone. 1-2. Pitch misses upstairs, 2-2. Little brief pause in action there. Villanueva is back in the stretch, though. Coming home to Cazares, that was a slider that didn't quite break back into the zone. That is a ball, full count, 3-2. There goes Rodriguez down to second base on a full count with 2 outs. Why not? But Cazares dribbles this one foul. We'll do it again, full count. Rodriguez on the move again. Cazares hits this one over to the third baseman. It bounces off of him into the outfield. Here comes Rodriguez to third. Boy, that was a hot shot at the third baseman, and it ate his lunch and dinner there, folks, and bounced into the outfield. That's how hard of a hit it was. There's no way that is going to be ruled an error. That is a base hit for Cazares. He's at first. Rodriguez is at third base now. So, runners on the corners for the Athletics with something cooking. Luke Shaheen is going to be stepping in, and we'll see if there's a pitching change, but he will represent the tying run for the Athletics. Wow, looks like Menlo Park is wasting no time here, folks. They are making a pitching change. I think they are just going to run through the gauntlet of arms that they have today, but of course, I'm not the coach, so I can't speak for him. But just with the way things are trending today, that's my assumption. Working to get a number and a name for you here, folks. Looks to be a right-hander experts that is warming up for Menlo Park. So going back to a righty after Villanueva, the lefty. Julian Rodriguez is jogging back to third base. Looks like we're going to be getting close to having some at-bats here. And you know, while we have the brief moment here, let's just get an update on those temps because for those who do not know, it is going to be a hot one here in Fresno today. It is 87 degrees already, up from 83 degrees at first pitch, and it is the bottom of the second inning. Supposed to get up to 105 today. So here we go. First pitch is a ball to Shaheen, and Cazares easily takes second base. So now two runners in scoring position for Shaheen. Great opportunity for the A's to really claw back here. Second pitch to him misses outside 2-0. Pitch fired. It's spiked. It gets past the catcher. Rodriguez is coming home. That is run number 2 of this inning. Catcher had no chance on that one, folks. It bounced off his chest plate. It sure did look like. And Rodriguez took advantage and easily scored. So 4-2 now is the score. Gabe Cazares is at third base. And the count to Shaheen is 3-0. Down the pipe from Eckbert. That is a strike. 3-1. 3-1 pitch to Shaheen is fouled back. Count has worked back to 3-2. Payoff pitch on the way. Shaheen takes ball all the way low and outside. He walks, and this inning does continue for the Athletics. So the seventh batter of this inning coming up, it rotates to the top of the lineup. It is the shortstop, George Smith. His first time up, he drew a leadoff walk, which of course was just last inning, since we're only in the second. Anyways, runners on the corners again. We'll keep an eye on Shaheen to see if he'll take second base. Typically, in a situation like this, it's a free bag for the team because they do not want to risk anything happening and bringing in that runner from third. First pitch was a ball to George Smith. Second pitch is a ball to him as well, 2-0. So Menlo Park having some issues with control / location here in this inning. Two 0 pitch on the way, and George Smith whiffs on a really tight slider that breaks down out of the zone. 2-1. Very good pitch there from Eckbert. Two 1 is the count. Gets set, takes a peek over at first base. Here he comes with 2-1. Tries the same pitch, but George Smith is wise to it this time. He takes 3-1. Three and one on the way is a heater that gets pumped right down the pipe. George Smith takes 3-2. Boy, if he offers that pitch again, I imagine George Smith is going to take a healthy hack, but we'll find out as 3-2 is on the way. Woo, that is some chin music. I don't know if it George Smith is it's looking like it grazed his nose. Boy, those are certainly scary when they go upstairs like that. He is sort of shaking his head. I think he will be fine to continue here. He is going down to first base. So 2 at-bats, 2 walks for George Smith in this game. Bases are juiced, and the potential 2-out rally is on as Luke Ree is stepping in for his second at-bat, and he's certainly going to want to make amends after a 6-4-3 double play that he grounded into in the first inning. So here's the first pitch to Ree. He fouls this one back behind the A's dugout. 0-1 is the count. Ree digs back in there, taking a look at our base runners. We have Cazares at third, Shaheen at second, and George Smith at first. Pitch on the way. Ree again makes contact, but it is foul. 0-2. Oh, 2 on the way to Ree. He hits this one up the middle. Going to be a tough play for the second baseman, but he flips it to the shortstop. That is an out. That is the end of the inning for the Athletics batting, but they do cash in 2 runs in that inning to claw their way back somewhat, cut the lead in it, or the deficit rather, in half. They're going to take the field here. Menlo Park is going to be back batting with the 5, 6, and 7 batters, Bleeker, Curtis, and Bose, when we come back to the top of third. All right, back at you with the top of the third inning. First pitch is bounced in the dirt by King, 1-0. As we pick things up with the third baseman, Bleeker. Pitch is in there, strike, 1-1. Hey, Scott. Yeah, I see that comment that you have. It's a bit interesting with the camera angles because I'm sort of trying to compete with having a great angle for all of you at home, but at the same time, the coaches are using them to break down at bats, so they want a really clear view of the batters. So it's almost like we're trying to have a compromise with the camera angles, but if I were able to, I certainly would. But anyways, we have a bit of a meeting going on here at home plate circle. Looks like Bleeker fouled one off of his lower leg, maybe the ankle. Just having a quick chat. Looks like he's going to stay in. All right, so Bleeker's back in there, 1-2 count. Pitch from King is a shot down to third base. Luke Navad picks it. Wood tries to pick it from the ground. It goes past him. Shaheen throw into second. Bobbled by George Smith there, but that is going to be all for Bleeker. He does get two bases out of that. Not sure who that error is going to be charged to, but it certainly will be an error charged against the Athletics. So leadoff hitter Bleeker is into second now. I think we're going to call that on Luke Navad for the throw in the dirt that bounced on Ethan Wood. But still, it was a heck of a play by him at third base to even give that one a chance, as this one's ripped down the left field line, but it is in foul territory and finds the seats. But yeah, no, they call it the hot corner for a reason at third base. Luke Nevada had to make a quick pick on it. He was going away from first base and tried to make the best throw he could. But anyways, just happens sometimes. That's a long throw. But 0-1 count here to the new batter, Curtis. Ball gets past Shaheen, and runner is going to move to third base. Looked like it five-holed him there, went right in between the legs and right towards me, actually. Might have been a good shot on the camera, but anyways, that is 90 more feet for Bleeker, and he's at third. 1-1 count on the way is down low in the dirt once more. Shaheen has this one scooped up this time. It is 2-1. Another fastball that misses low. King certainly has the heat, but just not locating it quite well right now. 3-1. That one this time misses upstairs. Ball four. That is a walk. So Curtis takes first base on that one. First two batters of this inning for the Legends have reached base. Bleeker at third, Curtis at first, and here comes the third hitter of this inning, shortstop Bose. Last time he was up in the first inning, he's had a sacrifice fly to left field that cashed in Bleeker. Actually, that cashed in Anderson. Anyways, first pitch in there is a strike to Bose. 0-1 hit out to left field. That's going to get over George Smith's head, bounce in front of Mikey Ramirez. Base hit. Here comes Bleecker to score. Curtis moves over to second, so station to station, and that is the fifth run of this ball game for Menlo Park, 5-2. Coach Wyatt's coming out to the mound, having a little chat with Cooper King. I do believe this is going to be the end of his day. So certainly not how he wanted this outing to go. 5 runs in 2 innings pitched. We'll have warm-ups here, and we'll come back to you with the new pitcher on the mound. All right, we're back after a brief warm-up. It is going to be Ryan Weller coming into this game, and he sure is a fireball thrower, but he threw some really fast ones there in warm-up. One of those pitches was clocked in at 94, just for reference, but first pitch is in there for a strike. And that one gets away from Shaheen, definitely way outside with the heat there. Might have crossed him up, but runners advance 90 feet on that. So 1-1 is the count now. Weller's pitch misses down 2-1. 2-1 pitch looked like a slider, but this one misses down. Good discipline from Cowens. 3-1 is the count. Fastball challenges him down the pipe, foul tip. Bounces out of Shaheen's glove, 3-2. A's looking for their first out of this inning, inversely, most likely any out for Menlo Park, aside from striking out, or pretty much striking out is going to be productive and cash in another run. But he gets rung up here with a slider, watches it go by, strikeouts. So Ryan Weller paying dividends here early in his appearance. First batter he faces, he strikes out. Here's the 9-hole hitter for Menlo Park. It is Vi as he sends this one out to right center field. That's dropping in front of Ramirez for a base hit. Here comes one run in, throw to the plate. Shaheen snags it. So Curtis gets cashed in on that one. Bose holds up at third base, and Vi has himself an RBI single. Six to two Legends, and still one out, runners on the corners. Here comes the top of the lineup for the Legends. It is the right fielder, Shaddix. Vi is on the run, and Shaheen does test him. Here comes the runner down to the plate, throws low, and he is safe. That was a really close play at the plate. It looked like Shaheen might have got him with the tag, but Bose comes in to score, and just what I was referencing last inning when the Athletics were on base comes true. Typically, second base is a free base with runners on the corners, because if you throw down to second base, you're risking that that runner at third base coming in to score. So 3 runs in this inning for the Legends. 7 to 2 is the score. Weller's slider in there for a strike. 1-1 the count to Shaddix. Runner going to third. Very bold of him, and he is out. Weller's heater certainly helped with that, but Shaheen made a great throw. Navad with the tag. Gets Vi out at third, so there's now 2 down in this inning. Ryan's pitch low in the dirt. Shaheen slides to his right, blocks it in the dirt. 2-2 the count. Curveball sent out to right field. Ria's on the run for it, settles under it, catches it. That is the end of this inning. So after the Athletics put 2 on the board to cut the deficit in half, the Legends respond with 3 of their own and expand the lead 7 to 2 as we go to the bottom of the third. All right, we're back. Sorry for being a little tardy there. Was talking with one of the Menlo Park Legend coaches, and yeah, first game for them today, so they are keep holding the pitch count to 20 pitches for their pitchers. 2-0 count turns a 3-0 count for Ethan Wood, who is certainly going to look to get on base to start out this inning to fight back after giving three back to the Legends in the top of the third. Four pitch walk for Ethan Wood. He gets things started here with getting on base. And cleanup hitter Luke Navad is going to be stepping into the box. Luke Navad today has not recorded an official at bat yet because he walked in the second inning. So 0 for 0, that was a four pitch walk, and he was the first run for the Athletics today. Speaking of pitching with the Menlo Park Legends, I forgot to mention they made a pitching change in between innings. It is 99 Gaber for them now. So 1-0 count the count to Navad. 2-0 is now the count, and two at bats in so far. 6 balls, no strikes to him. He is certainly looking for something to piece up here. 2-0 on the way. He takes a mighty hack at it. Foul tip into the glove. 2-1. Gaber gets the sign, is getting set. Not even bothering to check it wood at first. Navad jam shot off the inside of his bat, goes towards the first baseman, but he gets out of the way to try and let the second baseman make the play. Pitcher goes to cover, but the ball is safe at first base. So a little jam shot single for Luke Navad there. So he grabs first base. Ethan Wood is off to second, and the Athletics got something cooking here early in the bottom of the third. Hayes Eden's the man of the day yesterday, stepping into the box, takes ball one. In his one at bat today, he's 0 for 1 with a ground out to short. Second pitch for Edens is fouled back to the screen, 1-1. One pitch to Edens is a ball. The Athletics dugout is chirping for a balk there, but they will not get the call. 2-1 is the count now. Two-one pitch is upstairs now. 3-1 to Edens. Gaber agrees with the pitch, getting set now. Comes to Edens. It is taken high, ball 4, and 3 batters, 3 base runners for the Athletics. Bases are juiced now. And that brings up the left fielder, Mikey Ramirez, with a great opportunity to get back some runs here. Mikey Ramirez has been productive today already. Sac fly to right field, cashed in. The first run of this ball game. First pitch off speed, misses in 1-0. Second pitch, Gaber grunts with that fastball delivery. It misses low and outside. 2-0 to Mikey. Two 0 pitch, Ramirez fouls it off the catcher, 2-1. Ramirez steps back in, Gaber looking for the sign. He sets. Pitch on the way to Ramirez. He hits this one out to left center field. That's going to drop. That's going to be extra base hits for him. Here comes Ethan Wood to the plate. Here comes Luke Navad to the plate. And Hayes Edens is digging for home. That is a 3 RBI double for Mikey Ramirez. Clears the bases. A mega clutch hit for the A's here as Mikey Ramirez clears the bases. 3 runs come in to score on that double, and the deficit is now cut to 2 just like that with Ramirez on second. Julian Rodriguez coming up to plate, and still no outs in this inning. A's dugout has some juice after that one. There's no doubt about it. And we have another pitching change coming up for Menlo Park. We'll tell you who it is when we come back after warm-ups. All right, we're back with yet another pitching change. It is Julian Rodriguez digging in for the A's as he takes ball one. Julian grounds this towards short. The throw to third base. Paul is out, and the A's dugout is livid with that. The throw most certainly beat Mikey Ramirez at third, but must have been something with the tag. Maybe thought the foot got in there. I don't know, but either way, that is the first out of this inning. So fielder's choice for Julian Rodriguez. Here comes Gabe Cazares to the plate. First pitch way up 1-0. Another pitch in there to Gabe and back pick attempt over at first base, but Rodriguez is in safely. When it won the count, Gabe pops it up to the shortstop who's drifting into shallow left field. He's under it. He's got it. 2 outs for this inning. So here comes the 9-hole hitter, excuse me, not litter. 9-hole hitter, Luke Shaheen. New pitcher for the Menlo Park Legends finally was able to get a number. It is Mole. First pitch to Shaheen, grounded to short, flipped over to second. Menlo Park Legends are out of the inning after that pitching change. Doing the scorebook here real quick. Anywho, so Menlo Park Legends escape with only 3 runs allowed in that inning. Certainly not desirable from them, but could have been worse with a runner on second and no outs after that base clearing double by Mikey Ramirez. Certainly a great momentum shifter for the A's as they get 3 runs back after allowing 3 runs in the top of the third inning. So the deficit is down to 2 for the Athletics. Menlo Park Legends up 7-5 as we rotate to the top of the fourth. All right, we're back with the top of the fourth inning. Ryan Weller still on the mound, aka what I just heard from one of his fellow teammates, Velo Daddy. There's no doubt about that. He's bringing the heat on the mound today. All right, second pitch to Shaddix is fouled away, 1-1. Third pitch of the at bat misses outside, 2-1. Taking a look at Shaddix's days so far, he does have a single, which led off the action here in the ball game in general. Scored the first run of the game, and he is grounded out to third as he takes ball three right there, 3-1 now the count. Excuse me, 2-2. What was I looking at? Anyways, count even 2-2. Weller comes home. It misses low and outside. Now the count is full 3-2. Slapped out to left center field. Looks like that might drop in. No, Luke Ree has the good read on it. Runs it down. Out number one. Shaddix definitely smacked that one real well out to left center field, but Ree makes a good run and catch on it, and that is out number one of this inning. So now digs in Anderson for the Legends. First pitch in there, called the ball to him. Yeah, correction on that first batter. That was Robago, not Shaddix, but that is a fly out to center for him. And anyways, we pick up with Anderson, the first baseman, in a 1-1 count, off speed, low, 2-1. Multitasking can get a little busy behind the camera here, but I certainly got to do a better job of scorekeeping here because I'm throwing you off at home. Anyways, 2-1 count to Anderson. Pitch from Weller on the way is it was ripped, but it was low. 3-1 now the count. That might have been his fastest pitch of this outing so far. That one looked like it had pace on it. Anderson digs back in. Weller starts his windup pitch on the way. And Anderson pops us up high fly ball in between Ramirez and Ree. Ree calls for it, catches it, and 2 down in the inning. So back-to-back flyouts to Luke Ree in left center field brings up the DH most. Most so far has at bats in the first and second inning. He popped out to George Smith at short and struck out looking as he takes a bender that breaks into the strike zone, 0-1. This one's fouled back to the screen, 0-2. Oh, 2 count on the way. Challenges him with some high heat. That is a strikeout. 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Weller as we move to the bottom of the fourth inning. After the A's put up a goose egg for the defensive side, They're up to bat, down 2. All right, we're back with the bottom of the 4th inning. First pitch is yanked by the left-hander, almost hits George Smith, but he gets out of the way, 0-1. Said 0-1, that's 1-0. Anyways, now there's the first strike of the at-bat as George Smith fouls this into the stands, 1-1. So A's certainly looking to capitalize here after holding the Legends scoreless in the top of the 4th inning. It's definitely been a back and forth game here. Taking a look at that scoreboard, 4-0 the runs in the first inning to the Legends, then 0-2 or 2-0 to the Athletics. Squared it up 3-3 last inning, so plenty of runs to go around as George Smith swings and misses at that one. 1-2 is the count. The 1-2 is grounded towards the hot corner. Third baseman gobbles it up, throws it over to first, but it bounces in front of the first baseman. He's not able to pick it off the ground, and it finds itself in the Athletics dugout. So that is a free second base for George Smith on that one. I imagine that will be a error charge to the third baseman, but we'll essentially consider that a double for George Smith. He is at second base, and action is going early for him. Sorry, everybody. I had to get off the comms there for a second because there was a Chichancy Park employee that had to wheel some water in past my announcing table, and it's very narrow here in between the screen behind home plate and the stands. So had to do a little rearranging with the table and all the rest, but we should be back and good to go. Quite honestly, with how busy it was there, I'm not too sure what happened to Luke Bree, but he is out. So one out here in the inning, and Ethan Wood is in at the plate. Scoreboard shows 2-0 for the count to Ethan Wood, so we'll run with that until umpire says differently. That pitch is upstairs, so 3-1 is the count, or 3-0. Wood steps back in, looking to get on base once more. Real pitch is on the way. Ethan Wood takes a healthy hat on 3-0, and I don't blame him. If there's a good pitch there, I'm sure he has the green light, but he waves and misses at that one. 3-1 is the count. Wood gets a piece of this foul off the catcher to the backstop. It is now 3-2. And we'll keep an eye on George Smith at second base. He can certainly move on the base paths, and goodness sakes, he's at third base, folks. Goodness, man, that guy coming by with the water really discombobulated me. Sorry about that. So George Smith is at third, and wow, the pitcher brought some heat on that one, but Ethan Wood takes a close pitch for a ball. Runners at the corners now. All right, so let's reset after all of that motion going on here. So, one out in this inning, George Smith reached second base on an errant throw from the third baseman that bounced into the Athletics dugouts. Then Luke Reed, I'm not too sure what happened to him since I was having to scatter around, move this table, move the equipment and everything, but he was an out. I assume George Smith got to third on whatever out happened for him. And Ethan Wood is caught in a pickle here. He's running down the second. He's going to be tagged out, but here comes George Smith home. So I definitely don't think that was designed for the Athletics, but it ends up paying dividends as George Smith scores on a pickle that tags out Ethan Wood. So scratch that whole situation that I was trying to get reset on. There's no runners on base, but there are two outs. And the Athletics just cashed in a run with George Smith scoring, and they're only down one now, 7-6. And Luke Navad is the batter at the plate, and this will be the first pitch to him. He drills this to left field. It bounces in front of the left fielder. He seems to think that he caught it, but the umpire says no, it bounced in front. Either way, good work with the glove to make sure that didn't get past him. That's a single for Luke Navad, his second hit of the day. And he's Eden stepping in for the Athletics now. First pitch to Edens is yanked down and away. Ball one. Round out to short and a walk for Edens thus far today. Pitcher set fires to Edens. He rips it down the third base line. That's a fair ball. Here comes Navad to third. Is he thinking about home? He's going to stay at third. Eden settles into second, and his hot bat continues for the Athletics here as he has himself a stand-up double. All right, so another great opportunity for the Athletics to score here, this time with two outs, so less margin to work with. And here comes another pitching change for Menlo Park Legends. And we'll be back right after warm-ups are complete. All right, we're back after the new pitching change. It is going to be Young on the mound for Menlo Park Legends, trying to get his team out of this potential big inning for the A's here, as they could take their first lead of the game. Mikey Ramirez stepping in, who was the big man last inning with a 3 RBI double. Young pulls the pitch down, ball one. So taking a look at the situation again, as Mikey Ramirez is up. Nevada's at third, Eden's at second after a single and a double, respectively. He bounces this one back to the screen, and here comes Nevada. He scores. That's the tying run for the Athletics. That A's dugout is hyped again. They got juice in there, and they are fired up and ready to take back this lead. 2-0 is now the count to Mikey Ramirez. Eden's heads over to third. And it looked like that pitch got bounced at about, 50 to 55 feet. But either way, tough one for the catcher to handle. Gets by. Nevada scores. He bounces the other one. It gets by him. Here comes Hayes Edens. That is the lead for the Athletics. Back-to-back spiked fastballs in the dirt leads to runs from Nevada and Edens. And just like that, the A's have taken the lead here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Incredible turnaround here. So I heard a little bit of muffling on the mic there. Once again, we had a cooler that had to get wheeled behind me. We're back sitting down. We're good. Mikey Ramirez takes the first strike of this at bat. 3-1's now the count. And he takes ball four there. That is a walk for Ramirez, and there is yet another runner on for the Athletics in this inning. This is a really compelling game here, folks. My goodness, back and forth, back and forth. A's have their first lead. Just man, with all the scoring, we might run into that issue of a time limit causing this game to end early, and wouldn't that be a shame here? It is 8-7 in the bottom of the fourth. Julian Rodriguez is the batter up now, and he takes strike one. Home plate umpire sends a clear message to the A's dugout. There might have been a little bit of complaining about a called strike pit there, but he stops play. Here comes Mikey Ramirez down to second base. He is in there safe, stolen base. Anyways, to explain, home plate umpire called timeout, motioned over to the A's bench and said he ain't having it. So, anyways, stolen base for Mikey Ramirez here. Pitch on the way to Rodriguez is down low. That's a ball. 1-2 is the count to Rodriguez. As here's another opportunity for the A's to get something going here with 2 outs. Pitch on the way. Rodriguez takes a bit of a soft half swing at it. Bounces down the first base line. Almost was in fair territory, but fielded foul. So we'll do it again. So we are already 2 hours into this ball game, and we are still in the bottom of the fourth. It has been a long haul of a lot of scoring, and there's another pass ball or wild pitch. Mikey Ramirez takes third base easily. So the fourth run for the A's of this inning is only 90 feet away. Rodriguez is certainly going to look to find a hole out there in the field to deposit a base hit and cash in Mikey Ramirez. 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed by Rodriguez. He strikes out, and that is the end of this inning. There was 7 batters that were up for the Athletics. They make good on that. 3 runs in this inning, back-to-back 3-run innings for the Athletics, and just like that, they take the lead 8-7 as we go to the top of the 5th. Back with the top of the 5th inning as Ryan Weller is seeking his 3rd inning of work here, and he gets a swing and a foul tip into the glove on that one. 0-1. Second pitch on the way, off speed, fools him, swing and a miss, quickly 0-2. Time called by the home plate umpire, so batter will reset here for Legends. 0-2 pitch fouled back up into the upper deck of Chansey. We'll do it again, 0-2. So this is a pinch hitter for the Legends. I was trying to figure that out. This is in, well, this one's grounded. George Smith puts his glove up too early, trying to backhand it. It goes out into outfield. Mikey Ramirez cleans it up, throws it into second. So leadoff batter is going to get on base there, but that is an error for George Smith. So yeah, it was Bleeker that was in that spot, but Vasquez pinched hit for him, and he is the leadoff runner with a healthy lead. He is picked off. Very opportunistic there from Ryan Weller. Vasquez was getting very greedy with his lead there so early into Ryan Weller's process of getting set, and he pays the price. A's dugout is juiced after that pickoff, and strike goes in there, and they cheer even louder. 0-1 the count now to the new batter. That is another strike quickly. 0-2 once again for Weller. So the batter is Bose here. Weller. Curveball is chopped over to Navad. He makes a long throw over to Ethan Wood, but he is able to beat out the throw. So infield single there for the Legends. That was a good play by Luke Navad over there at third, but the ball just took too long on the chopper to come down to his glove to make the throw over in time. So 1 out, and there's once again a runner on first. First pitch, low and outside. That is a ball. Second pitch off speed in there, called strike. We got another pinch hitter here for the Legends. Man, I'm trying to keep up with them. They have certainly been playing all their players today, and credit to them for that. Pitch taken high, ball 2-1. So this appears to be number 7. Taking a look at their roster, that would be Beachy, I would say, or Bichelle. Hard to say with the handwriting. Sorry, folks. Anyways, number 7 for the Legends is up. Ryan Weller just tried a little pickoff move. He's safe. Goes again. Safe once again. That time looked like he had the base runner leaning a little bit, but he got in there just in time. Weller off speed, looked like a slider that gets in there for a strike. 2-2. Two and two count. I expect something low to try and induce a double play from Weller. It is a low pitch, but it is scooped out to the center field. Luke Ree is under it. He has it. That is out number 2 of this inning, and the runner retreats back to first. So 2 down in the inning. And that is bringing up yet another pinch hitter for the Menlo Park Legends. Let's get a look at who this is stepping in. It is Robbins, number 24, as he takes a strike. Second pitch to him, taken outside, 1-1's the count. There goes the runner down to second. Shahid with a fantastic throw gets him out. How about that defensive display by the Athletics in that inning? Picked off the leadoff hitter, and then Shaheen just throws a dart down to second base. He is caught stealing, and they are out of the inning. So yet another goose egg put up by the Fresno A's defense. They're coming up to hit in the bottom of the 5th inning with a 1-run lead. All right, bottom of the fifth, Gabe Cazares leading things off for your Fresno A's, and he takes strike one in their 0-1. Taking ball 1-1 to Cazares. He chops this one down. The third base line. Is it fair? Is it foul? It's foul. 1-2's the count now. All right, Cazares is digging back into the batter's box now. 1-2's the count to him. In the windup, pitch on the way is a curveball that bounces in the dirt. Good eye from Cazares. 2-2. Pitch from Young down. 3-2 count is full to Cazares now. Pitch rings up Cazares. Strike three. Crooked K for Young on that one. That is out number one of this inning. And here comes the 9-hole hitter catcher, Luke Shaheen. First pitch taken down, ball one. And that one clips Shaheen. He is going to have himself first base. Looked like it hit him on the arm. Throws the shin guard off, jogs down first base. Wear it, kid. You're at first. So with that, we rotate to the top of the lineup. It is the shortstop, George Smith. He's 0 for 1 today. However, he has been on base all three times. Ball taken low, 1-0. Oh, there goes Shaheen down to second. Throw down there. He beats it. It's a safe call at second. So how about that? A catcher showing off some wheels and getting down to second base for a stolen base. Yes. So now George Smith resets in the batter's box with a runner in scoring position. 2-0 is the count to him. He chops it up the middle. Will it get through? The second baseman makes a sweet snag on it. Wow, what a great play by him. Man, he had to run a far away for that. Scooped it up with his glove and threw off balance to the first baseman, just beating George Smith, who most certainly is not slow. So great play retires George Smith, but Shaheen moves to third base, 2 outs, and the 2-hole hitter Luke Reed is up. First pitch to Reed taken up high, 1-0. Taking a look at Reed's day, he is 0 for 3. Spiked in the dirt, but good pick there by Robbins. 2-0. Yeah. 5 holes the catcher, ball to the backstop. Here comes Luke Shaheen. He scores. So Shaheen makes a revolution around the bases, scores, and that is yet another run scored for the Athletics on a ball that gets through the catcher. Well, now bases are cleared. Athletics have a 2-run lead now, and Luke Reed will certainly still try to keep the good times rolling here in this inning. Pitch taken up high. That is a 4-pitch walk for Luke Shaheen, or excuse me, not Luke Reed. And here comes a coach for the Legends onto the mound. I do believe we will have yet another pitching change. Yes, we will. Somebody is walking in from the bullpen. So when we come back, we will let you know who is now on the bump for the Legends. All right, we're back. Luke Reed is at first base after walking. New pitcher in is Francisco Leja for the Legends, and Ethan Wood digs into the plate, looking to increase the lead. First pitch, Ree is on the move, but Ethan Wood fouls it back, so Ree will retreat to first. 0-1, the count to Wood. Wood has grounded out to first, and then after that, reached base twice on some walks. As he pops this up into shallow right field, second baseman looks to have the read on it. He does, catches it. It is the end of the inning. So Leja does his job, gets the out on the first batter he faces here to end this bottom of the fifth inning. But the A's tack on another run and they increase their lead by 2. It is 9-7 Athletics as we rotate to the top of the sixth. All right, folks, we pick up the first batter of this top of the sixth inning. It is Robbins, who is pinch hitting in the 8 hole. He is down 1-2 to Ryan Weller. And he fans him on some high heat strikeout for Weller. He's definitely got things working today. One out in this inning. First pitch to him, off speed, swings through it, 0-1. Vi takes that pitch for a ball, 1-1.
Just for luck.
Swings through it, 1-2. Ball up high, 2-2.
Yes.
All right, folks, we're back. We were just chatting a little bit with the legends about so the setup I got going on here for your guys' live stream. But anyways, so Vi walks there, he's on first base, and we rotate to, I do believe, the top of the lineup. Getting hard to tell, honestly, with all these pinch hitters getting thrown into the game, because this is definitely not Shaddix, who would have been the top of the lineup hitter. That is Costa up at bat. He takes ball 2. It is 2-0 to him. Strike call to him. It is 2-1. Weller checks on the runner over at first base. That is Vi. He gets back in there safely. Weller comes home. Fastball. Spit down low in the zone. That is a strike. So here we are with Weller getting that second strike. We are in a full count. Takes a quick peek over at the runner at first. Couple peeks, as a matter of fact. Goes home with the two-seamer. It is fouled back. Staying alive is Costa. We'll do it again. We'll take a quick peek over from the first base camera to get a good view of the batter there. Pitch on the way from Weller. He takes strike three call. Boy, that was a good time to get cut to that camera. We'll have to check back and see where that pitch was, but umpire says sure enough it was high enough in the zone. He rings him up backwards K for Weller. So two down now, new batter up, and yet again it is another pinch hitter. I certainly do. This one's chopped over to Ethan Wood, but stays just foul. If not, that would have been potentially extra bases. Anyways, I was going to say, I certainly admire the Legends. This is their first game today, but they are getting a look at everybody today, exhausting the bench. 0-1 pitch taken outside. 1-1 is now the count. So this pinch hitter now is looks like DeKellar. Very, very cool last name, I have to say. But anyways, looks like he is the pinch hitter here. Weller, ball two, and 2-1 is the count now to DeKellar. Two one pitch on the way is a pitch that misses low in the zone. 3-1. Pitch in there. Strike. 3-2. So yet another full count here for Weller in this inning. Last time was last batter, and he punched him out. Certainly wouldn't mind doing that again. Oh, oh boy, Weller throws it away. He definitely had a big lead, but there's a reason Ethan Wood was not covering. He could not get to the ball in time. That ball got sent into right field, and Phi has second base. Well, after that brief hiatus from the at bat with a throw out into right field, we resume 3-2. Here's the pitch to DeKellar. He takes ball four outside, so he heads over to first base, and the Legends have runners on first and second now. Fresh count to a new batter for Weller. First pitch on the way, he just seeds one inside hard heat, strike one. Yet another pinch hitter for the Legends. It is Johnston now. This one is fouled back towards the Athletics dugouts. 0-2 now the count. Weller taking a peek over at second base a couple times. Comes home 0-2. That is fouled back, and wow. Tell you what, Johnston was probably trying to catch up to that heat from Weller. Bat slips out of his hands. 0-2 still remains the count. He might want a little bit more pine tar. In the meantime, an athletic player brings the umpire a couple more balls just in case of more foul balls. So runners on first and second still count 0-2 with two down. Weller slider, does it get him? Oh boy. Shaheen throws it into the outfield. They're looking to check the check swing. They're still playing it. This is a wild scenario, folks. Here comes one runner in for. Wow, that is a wild sequence there, folks. Weller threw a slider. Johnston and Coach Wyatt Featherson is thrown out of this ball game after arguing with the home plate umpire. But that was a very weird sequence. Weller threw a slider. Johnston checked his swing according to the umpires. Athletics didn't think so, but the base runner was leaning hard off of first base. Shaheen tried to throw it down. Once again, similar situation to when Weller tried to throw it over to first base for the pickoff. Ethan Wood was just not in position to receive that throw. So the throw just got sailed into right field, and Vi comes in to score there to decrease the deficit to 1 here for the Legends. Good block from Shaheen. He is going to hold on to that one for good keeping. DeKellar gets to third base, and the count is 2-2 to Johnston with 2 outs. I think we're all caught up now after all that madness. Johnston chases the pitch high and up. A's are pumped up after that one. They certainly might feel that is ball never lies moment right there. But boy, after a wild inning, the Menlo Park Legends gets a run in. They decrease the deficit to 1 run. So the Athletics are still up, but they are up 9-8 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Well, folks, after an action-packed inning, and for that matter, action-packed game, the A's are coming up to bat in the bottom of the 7th, hoping to take an even bigger lead right now after giving up 1 to the Legends. That is Luke Navad up at bat, and he fouls that one back 0-1. Navad has himself 2 base hits today, a walk, and he has scored all 3 times. Tries to hold up. Does he? Umpire says no at first base. So 1-1 count now. There is potentially a little bit of action going on in the Athletics bullpen. Hard pitch in there, called strike 1 and 2, and it looks like we've got a new pitcher in there. Ball sails over the catcher's head to the backstop. I get hit with some dirt shrapnel back here, but I'm all good. That is definitely a ball. 2-2 the count now. And I am trying to get a name for a pitcher here. My apologies, it's still Leha. Man, there's been so much going around that my head is in a whirlwind here. So much action, so many different players for the Legends. It's been a game absolutely to remember, and it's such a shame that it is going to end early, folks, because we do have a time limit. Since the Grizzlies are gracious to share the field with us, they have their ball game later this afternoon, and we have a cutoff of noon, so we got 19 more minutes of baseball action. As Navad hits this towards the shortstop, he scoops it up, throws it over to first. First baseman stretches out for it. That is Johnston. He secures the catch. That is an out. All right, so Hayes Edens is coming up to the plate. Had himself a double last time he was up and scored a run. He takes ball one on the first pitch that he sees. Strike one in there too. Edens count evens up 1-1. So with that time limit that I mentioned looming over us with T minus 18 minutes to go, it is imperative for both teams to cash in on more runs here in the waning minutes. Ball is inside to Edens. That is another ball, 2-1. More specifically, let's take a look at Edens day 1 for 2 with the double I mentioned, as well as a walk. Three and one count to Edens. And that one goes inside, almost clips him in the arm, but he takes ball four on the way to first as Edens with his second walk of the day. First base runner of this bottom of the sixth inning. And showtime, Mikey Ramirez coming up after a amazing bases clearing double in the third inning to really claw back the A's in this one. He chops this over to the shortstop, waits for the hop, flips it over to second. On the way to first, Mikey Ramirez is safe in there, so that'll go down as a fielder's choice for him. He will park it at first. Edens is out at second. Julian Rodriguez is the batter. He takes a pitch up and in, ball one. Rodriguez 0 for 2 today with a walk, and he did score. Leja checks over on Mikey Ramirez at first. Mikey is called safe. Pitch called a ball 2-0 to Rodriguez. Looking to make something happen here. Back pick over to first base. Johnston makes sure that one ain't going into right field. They saw the Athletics do that in the last inning. They don't want to repeat that mistake. So, anyways, Mikey Ramirez is in there safely. Count is 3-0 to Julian Rodriguez. We'll await and see if he has the green light here. He takes a strike down the pipe, 3-1. So here's the answer to that question is no. But still a hitter's count here for him. Threw one on the way to Rodriguez is yanked down and away. Rodriguez walks. So two base runners on for the Athletics, and they certainly have to like this setup here. There is two outs, but there's two base runners on, and as mentioned, that time limit is looming large. So looks like a new pitching change here for Menlo Park Legends. So we'll let you know who that pitcher is coming up as the Athletics try and get some insurance run here as we are up against the clock. All right, we're back after warm-ups. It is Albro going for the Legends here with a fresh count to a new hitter. That is Gabe Cazares. Two outs now. Pitch in there, strike one to Cazares. Gabe had himself a base hit in the second inning, and after that, looks like a grounder, no, pop fly, excuse me, to shortstop and a backwards K. Pitch outside, taken for a ball. Cazares sends this out to right center field. It's going to drop in front of the center fielder. There's the extra runs the A's were looking for. Mikey Ramirez comes in to score. It is now a 2-run lead for the Athletics. It's a big piece of two-out hitting there for Gabe Cazares. He settles in at first with a RBI single. Julian Rodriguez is at second as the 9-hole hitter Luke Shaheen, catcher for today, takes ball one. Pitch called, ball to Shaheen, 2-0 now. Two-zero pitch upstairs, 3-0 now to Shaheen. Three-zero pitch down the pipe, taken for a strike. 3-1 the count. Shaheen has walked, grounded out to short, and walked again. So 2 walks for him, 0 for 1. Officially, he sends this out to right center field. That's going to drop in again for another base hit. And it's rolled towards the wall. He sends it out to where Gabe Cazares sends it in. Julian Rodriguez in to score. Cazares is flying down that third base line. He scores 2. Catcher Luke Shaheen with some clutch piece of hitting there with 2 outs to extend this lead 12-8. Nice piece of base running from Cazares there as he went from first to home on that one to score. But great piece of hitting as well from Luke Shaheen, sending it where the outfielders weren't, and it rolled out to the wall, cashing in 2. Pitch upstairs to George Smith. We are rotated to the top of the lineup here. He is the 7th batter of this inning. He hits this one a mile high, but up in the air. Center fielder's settling under it. Calls off the left fielder. That is the 3rd out of this inning, but clutch hitting from the Athletics there to extend this lead as we are 8 minutes away from the game being called on time. Just making sure that we are going to have a top of the 7th. Yes, we are. I see Julian Rodriguez going out there. So still more action yet to come, but we are 7 minutes away from this game unfortunately ending. It's been so entertaining. It's been so action-packed. There have been a lot of mistakes that has led to the entertainment, but there has also been clutch hitting for sure. As we go to the top of the 7th, A's 12, Legends 8. All right, top of the sixth inning, and this ball is bounced. And oh, what's going on here? Well, that's an out. Boy, that was really interesting. So, first pitch from Ryan Weller, who is still in the game for the Athletics, is dribbled in front of Shaheen, and Weller and Shaheen almost crashed into each other, taking Shaheen out of the play, but he was still able to make the throw over to first with Ryan Weller practically hugging him. Anyways, with all of that, one out very quickly in this inning. And a new batter up for the Legends. Slider fouled back to the screen. 0-1 is the count. Another off speed that does get the check swing call. 0-2. Like a curveball that misses inside 1-2. Fastball down and inside. 2-2. Count evens up. And looks like another off-speed pitch, but this one misses outside. Vasquez is battled back from 0-2 to 3-2. Oh, beautiful, filthy slider that starts low in the zone, breaks out of the zone. Vasquez swung, but not more so half-heartedly because he was fooled on that one, but I don't blame him. I would have been too. Either way, nasty stuff from Ryan Weller, and it is now 2 outs. Strike call in to the new batter, and Athletics 1 out away from essentially winning this game. This game is going to tie out probably at the end of this at bat, but I'm sure Ryan Weller and the Athletics would like to finish off this at bat beforehand. 1-1 is the count now. Weller delivers, slider misses outside, 2-1. Weller takes a breather behind the mound, gets reset back on the mound, likes the pitch call. Here comes the windup and the pitch on 2-1, and goes inside with some heat, but it misses 3-1. The slider misses outside, gets by Shaheen, but the batter's in no hurry to get down to first and try and challenge for second. He takes first base. That is a walk for Weller. And I'm awaiting a time call here. We shall see. Yet another pinch hitter for the Legends. He takes ball one, and he does the Soto shuffle at the plate. Hearing the cheers and everything, I think that's just something they're doing at this stage of the ball game, being so close to being done, just for some humor and fun. 1-0 is swung on and missed up high. He sticks his tongue out. Certainly seems to be a lighthearted at bat for him. Let's see. It is Marlin. 1-1 count to Marlin. He checks his swing. Is it a strike call on the pitch? No. Is it a strike call on the swing? No. It is 2 balls and 1 strike. That is a crisp fastball in there from Weller. Marlin thought about going around on it, but held up his bat. Strike call on the pitch, 2-2. Well, Weller seemed to like that pitch. It was called inside, 3-2. Curious if the batters shuffling out of the way maybe affected that one. But either way, 3-2. Payoff pitch on the way. It is rung up, called strike 3. Marlin, he does not agree with the call, but is still in a lighthearted mood, it seems like. And I that is the ball game, yes, sir. We are out of time in this one, folks, and the Athletics crawl back from an early deficit to win 12-8. I mean, he had everything in that game, honestly. Tons of runs, some good pitching from Weller there, but also some rough moments with balls getting spiked in the dirt, pass balls, wild pitches, runners coming in to score on that, balls getting thrown out into the outfield on pickoff attempts, also people getting picked off, also people getting caught stealing. Yeah, this game pretty much had everything that you would want. Not necessarily a great game in terms of the quality of play, but a entertaining game nonetheless. But in terms of quality, there certainly were some bright spots for that. So Menlo Park Legends went up 4-0 early in the first inning, and then Athletics got 2 back in the second inning. Then Menlo put 3 up in the third. Then the Athletics put 3 up in the third, and that was a Mikey Ramirez bases clearing double. Then after that, 1 run for the Athletics, 3 run for the Athletics, and they make it 12-8 at the end of the day. So in this one-off game for this week, they beat the Menlo Park Legends. They beat VSA to complete the sweep on Tuesday, and they swept the California Halos in between these 2 games, VSA and Menlo Park, that is, 3-0 against the Halos. So the A's moved to 7-0 on the season. They certainly got to be feeling good after 5-0 this week. And taking a look towards next week, we have some fun games going on. We have the Reading Colts 45s here in town Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday is going to be a travel day for us. And then Friday through Sunday, we are going to be up on the north coast of California in Arcata to face the Humboldt Crabs for our first road trip of the season. So great pitching from Weller there to cool things off for the Athletics. Clutch hitting in some situations for the Athletics as well, as they win a wild one 12-8. And that will do all the baseball action for us for this week. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you, of course, to the Grizzlies, Rockies for letting us play in this beautiful ballpark. And we will see you next week for more A's baseball.